I'm very happy that almost everyone has some kind of like technical background, or even if you're not actually coding, you communicate with developers a lot, right? So you're a product designer and you work together. And so I am currently platform engineer in a startup called Zhaomian. So we build, how to say this? You can deploy from one command for any applications, framework agnostic, cloud agnostic. You can bring your own cloud, and we have deep fine-grained support for federated applications. So if you're in micro front end and you want to stitch different framework in runtime, then we can help you do that. And then you don't even need to do like the cell deploy or like fly.io deploy. You just do npm run build. So we hook into the build process. You just one line configuration in your webpack config or vconfig, and then your npm build, you deploy it, done, and then your link is in the terminal. So it's like we bring the Vercel into your terminal, and every time I do deploy, it's less than 1 or 2 seconds. So it's been sub-seconds so far. I'm the first hire after they finished the seed funding. I've been helping out with pretty much everything other than approaching new customers, because I tell them I'm not cooked yet. I need to get myself cooked first. So a lot of my work involving front-end code, product design, UX, supporting customers, debugging the module federations, webpack issues, live Discord support, also hiring. We've been actively hiring, and then also interview people. So it's called platform engineer, but I work from front end to back end to bundle it to our npm packages to our workers to deploy to different platforms. Yeah, so that's my self-introduction. But that's like my life for the past 1 month. But
no way.
What, sorry?
Just 1 month to do all the things.
3 weeks actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and then starting way before Zephyr. Well, I know the Zephyr folks for like more than a year, and I know them quite well now. So, but before that, I was working at a startup called Daytona. So it was like Kubernetes self-hosted GitHub code spaces. You can run Kubernetes cluster on your own server, and then it offers you similar to GitHub code spaces experience. And then before that, I was running my own company, and it was really tough. I learned programming a year and a half ago to build product for the company. And so on the way, as I was learning through programming, like everything, TypeScript, Golang, Rust, I met a bunch of DevTool founders like Tess, I think Theo, never mind. The office probably nobody knows. But basically, I've been active on Twitter, and then I just connected with people, slide into the DMs, and hey, how did you build this? That looked cool. And then, so connected with a bunch of DevTool founders. That's basically a lot of time how I also active on GitHub. If my friends send me some like GitHub issues, I tend to look at them, look at the code base, and maybe I leave some comments. Sometimes they mark it as spam, but that's fine. Yeah, yesterday my friends posted an issue on Express. They say QS is taking like 4 megabytes, but the replacing fast query can take up, only needs like less than 1 megabyte. So they've been discussing if like Node can support it or not. And I said, why is Node version conversation coming up to GitHub and they mark it as spam? Real story. So that's a bit of rambling there. I work with quite a few DevTool founders to either like organize events, understanding their fundraising goal, because I had failed startup experience both in China and the UK. It seems that a lot of founders approach me, they want to hire me as half founder, but not paying me, not treating me as a founder, so I've been always saying no to them. That's one thing I'm really interested to talk about, because founders, they have this dream because every day is so busy. They always dream about, oh, if someone can take half of my job, I don't need to wake up 5 a.m. anymore. Dream, right? Like, and then maybe your friends introduce you, and then you think it's great. they probably think it's great. Oh, someone knows what I need. I need to fundraise. I need to approach customers. I need to build products. I need to communicate with the team. Like, yes, I understand. But the question has always been, do I trust you? Do you trust me? Do I know you long enough to do the thing? Like, there is some level of trust that you need to build up. That communication keeps going, and I've always felt like the only way to build trust is time. It's always you keep communicating with someone. You can have the conversation going. It doesn't matter if it's bad or not. You can be stressed out and you don't reply them, or they are stressed out and they don't reply you. But like after a while, you probably like you reply them back, or you text again, and that's the type of trust that you build over time as like real friends. That's like when Zafan hired me, they never told me about like, oh, can you help me do my founder job? And this is an actual conversation. They are API companies, they are database companies, not Superbase. they asked me like, do you want to be my chief of staff? I'm like, I'm not sure. Like literal SpongeBob. I'm not sure. Like I just know you through email, and you ask me, do you want to be your chief of staff, help you manage your staff, and then also do your customer support and code? Do we have that level of trust yet? They were a company, yeah. So that's one thing. The first part I would like to talk about, and the second part is. So I think a month and a half ago, I run an event on Guild with Superbase CEO. So the Superbase is one of the database company. Definitely, I wouldn't say like best out of the best, but they've been quite successful on like both marketing wise, team culture wise. They are like over 80 people now. So and they founded for about 4 or 5 years, raised over 100 million. And so I think Taz or someone has asked me, how did you get on board of Superbase founder? And there are several things happened like consecutively like this, and then people keep asking me how. I'm like, it's luck, man. There's nothing much to it.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
Yes?
Okay, cool. That was my first question. I have 3 more. So,
yes, go on.
So I guess yeah, the Superbase event, that was first of all really well done, so thank you for hosting that. Like, have you posted that anywhere online? Is there a place that people can go and absorb that content? Because as you said, it was with Superbase CEO Paul.
I wrote an article, right?
What's that? You wrote an article? How do people access that article?
Oh, sorry?
How do people find that article?
I think the article got like probably 9K impressions.
90 impressions, so they
9K.
Would they go to your Twitter to find it? Is there a link that's convenient if people want to find more on that article?
Yeah, I guess so. Like the after event thing, there was one reason we didn't want to post video about it. Was like both Paul and Jesse's side, they don't want to post it.
Cool. So if folks want to learn more about the interview with Paul, I guess look up Lois and look up Paul on Google and find the article. It was a really good event, really well done interview with Paul from Superbase. So that was cool. And so you mentioned how did Paul find you? So it sounds like you're doing a lot of work with communities, intrinsically, DevTools communities. You're meeting DevTools founders, kind of through that. Would you say that has helped them identify you as a community leader and maybe look at you for this type of role or content?
No.
No?
Not at all. Like,
so it was just purely luck?
I say 90% of my time I'm AFK. And so a lot of time I don't reply to people. A lot of time when I post something I don't reply any comments. I think Superbase was a case where they saw my speech about database and it's very low level. And then there were also other people inviting me to PostgreSConf, and I think if I eventually go there, I'll talk about how to rebuild a Postgres from scratch.
Would you consider those community events or?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but Paul was just really nice. He saw my talk, and then it's not. I don't think. When I learn something, I like to go into the primitives. I like to know how to rebuild this, and then as soon as you want to know about these things, you will just like because I think Paul, the Superbase CEO himself, been in the Postgres community for quite a while. So as soon as he saw this type of low level content, he would like to know more, and he just asked me for my deck, and then we started chatting on Twitter. And then he said he's coming to London. I said, okay, let's do something. And then we host the event. Job done. It's not that magical. And my profile is very catfish as well. So
I've added your Twitter on the screen.
Oh, yeah, that's proper catfish, right?
It has this question about where to find the blog.
Yeah.
And you should just go.
Yeah, I should pin that blog.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I should probably pin that blog back to my top of my post.
Is there a tweet there that has it, maybe, Dan?
Where are we?
It's quite far back. I'll pin that, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
fine.
Yeah. If you follow me today, I'll remember, I met you here, I'll send you the link. And then, what else? What's the other events we did? Is there any other events?
So the one, I forget where I met you at the TRPC event that we did last year.
Yeah.
Last year, right?
It was like, I think a month or 2 months in programming, probably. I was listening to everything, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that was January last year. I think I met you there. Then obviously the Paul Superbase event, that one was lovely. You did Kubernetes event that sadly I was ill for, I couldn't attend that one.
But 2 times, consecutively 2 times.
It was good.
Yeah.
You spoke at Spell in London as well last week, so I was again ill for that. Sorry I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I think that's all that comes to memory right now, but probably more.
Yeah. I can't remember, it's been too many things. I can't remember what other events there is. I think in general, like, it's quite a Chinese thing to say, but it always feels like as long as you're a nice person, the good things just keep rolling up. And I think what I did was pretty much normal. I don't do anything extra. I don't do anything too little. I just do what I need to do, what I think I need to do the best. Like, how many of you are like Taiwanese or Chinese? Oh. 中国人吗？会讲中文？ Yeah. It's quite an Asian way to say it, but I portray it this way, and it's been just consistent, and then you respond to people. Like, I AFK, but like, that depends on what type of message you receive, right? I have a very catfish profile, so I receive also like anonymous message. But like, if it's my friend, I usually respond, and depends on how important they are, I usually respond with lots of information as well. Yeah, and Taz was like, yeah, Taz is really great. If you know Taz, you try to use Guild, you'll met lots of people in the DevTool space. I wouldn't say he directly organizes lots of events, but like he just knows the space globally very well. The events running on Guild, they're in Canada, they're in Southeast Asia, they're in London. He knows a lot of people, and seems like a lot of people know him as well. Yeah, and the events are usually very high quality. I don't know him a lot in person, but the friends I met through him has been great.
Very fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The Superbase events, I was really stressing out. Like, I think first day, we only have 1 week to sign up, 6 days to sign up. And then we book a value of 120 people. On the first day, I had 13 people sign up. I was like, oh fuck. We booked like one of the floors on Just Eat. Very nice view. And I was like, if I don't have 20 people sign up, Paul is gonna really pissed off. You get me to an event and the room is like almost empty.
I guess like that's a really interesting story. So Lois reached out to me like the week before and saying, hey, CEO Superbase is coming next week.
Yeah.
I want to do an event on Tuesday. I was like, oh jeez. Monday was a bank holiday. Tuesday reached out to a bunch of venues on Monday. We got a venue.
Yeah.
But then I told Lois, I'm just like, you're doing this whole thing in 1 week.
Yeah.
Like how the heck are you planning on getting anyone to attend in 1 week notice for a brand new event? And Lois pulled it off. So I'm curious, like, what was what was the tips and tricks? Like how did you? I think 80 people attend, something like that. How did you get that type of attendance? How did you discover people that would be interested in that topic? How did you drive that engagement to that event?
Drive engagement. Everyone Google, right?
I mean, did 80 people Google Superbase event next Tuesday? And then figure
No,
it out?
like
Or,
as
like, is
event
there anything that you did, or-
organizer, you Google, right? So and then there is a search in LinkedIn, right? And
Gotcha.
there is GitHub, right? And then there's some like GitHub scraping tools, like, and then people put the location on the GitHub, and there might be something related to Superbase that you put it in public. That's not my fault. Yeah, and then so I think one of the big advantages, I used to be a headhunter, and I interview like I don't know how many people. Back in when I was headhunter, hunting people or doing real estate merger acquisition, my daily job is go on LinkedIn and DM people. Yeah, like the only goal you have is not only goal, but like the primary KPI target is you need to DM people and invite them to an in-person interview. So it's basically you need to you need to do that in one message. If they can't come to an in-person interview, you need to get a call with them. And then the weekly KPI for that is 50 person per week. So that was in Page Group China. And then in Page Group, we had that very intensive training. In-person interview, 10 people per week. Phone call interview, 50 person a week. So you kind of have the skill to, you just like, you train it into your muscle memory that every day you go on LinkedIn, anytime you're on LinkedIn, you're adding people. And then adding people in the industry. At that time I was hiring for CMOs. So just like I searched for a chief marketing officer in like Swarovski, Nike, or like something in China, and then I had them. And I just sent a message. At that time I was like fresh graduate. I have like almost zero experience. I'm very grateful. Page Group teach me how to talk. So you kind of like, yes.
Well, it's divergent. We have like a couple of minutes left.
Yes.
But I had this urgent question to ask you. I hope you don't mind me asking, but
Please.
as a woman in tech working with a lot of founders, how do you find that? Do you have any challenges
Of course.
as a woman in tech, and how do you navigate that?
Interesting, like guys want to know that. Does everyone else want to know that? Like woman in tech?
I want to know.
We have a great mix of genders here as well, which is good.
I think you need to train the nose because I think my experience in Macau probably helped a lot. Because Macau is a casino town.
Right.
And you have lots of travelers. And like as a girl, you just have lots of attention from anyone. Because people come here to have fun. And your classmates are having fun too. And like you just go out to have drinks or like I was partying with Brazilians almost every week. And then you kind of need to train your nose to smell what's wrong. People invite you, like say you go to an event and people invite you like, hey, let's go to pub crawl, like one pub, two pub, fine. Passing 11, people still invite you to pubs. Just tell them no. And everyone else laugh like, hey, do you want to go to pubs? Just tell them no. You need to smell what type of message. Like say there was one of the very famous startup employee. He was commenting like engaging on Twitter, so I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then one day he started to talk about, oh, my company is hiring, and I was like, oh, cool, six-figure salary. And then he DM'd me and told me about the opportunity. Hey, you don't need to worry about you don't have enough experience, like just apply. I really like Linux, and I like Kubernetes, I like observability. So I was like, oh, cool, I can ask him about interview questions. And then he started to send me like food photos, where he got to have food, and or talk in Chinese, or like just update me his life. I think as soon as he sent the first message, like I just stopped replying. It's not that I don't want to make friends, but I prefer to not disrupt anything that's work related in like the early engagement. I'd rather have like work relationship runs well first, and then whatever other things can come later. I need to make sure you have integrity, you're a nice person, we do things the right way, right? And then founders, sometimes, or like people with good status, Paul is really nice. Superbig CEO, like honestly the most humble, integrity, like I want to meet some investor, he introduced me investors. And then a lot of the successful people, I'll be very blunt here, they know how to exploit people. They know how to see the opportunities and take advantage of people. But you need to like recognize those traits. Because these people tend to say two things at the same time. Or like they say one thing and they don't do it. So you see once, fine, you might forget it. You see it twice, I remind them, hey, you told me this, but now you're doing this. And then if they don't change that, you can think about how to take a step back and move to next. Yeah. So that's like my work relationship wise. And then because you're in the DevTool space and in London, you probably have lots of friends know each other. Or like, if you messed up with anyone, you're still going to go to the same event. You're going to see those people. Like you might not feel awkward, but how about other people, how they see you? How are they going to talk behind you? It's all very strange, like all this thing. Maybe I'm childish, I'm very Asian, but like that's the best way I can think about. Even my boss, my current boss, because we're really good friends, and then sometimes we have some old people dirty joke, but as soon as I start working with him, I think before I signed a contract, I just sent him a message, like I saw that dirty joke there, and I was like, okay, we are going to work together probably for a very long time, and there's a high chance we're going to build a large enterprise together, and we are going to manage a large team together. And I hope this type of conversation not coming afterwards. Yeah. And he just said, Roger. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
We've got the 10 minutes we got to leave.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is the last question.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I have one very quick question.
Oh, sorry, because this venue will need to shut at
Yeah.
9, so...
Yeah, let's do the question to 1 minute.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me. It's a very, very short question. So like I'm from Toronto. Back in Toronto, there was a Women in Tech Slack, where people could talk about these types of challenges and kind of how everyone handles it together. Are there any types of like Slacks or Discords or communities or any sort of network that you're part of to kind of talk about this and kind of handle it together?
Like we do have like a tech nation, so like Global Talent Visa, we have a community for women. But I don't think people actually talk about like handling men. I gave a speech in AWS, I think probably a year ago, about how to threaten men in tech. No, how to manage men in tech. It's not recorded, but the main point is basically they're guys. And if they are doing something wrong, call them out, roast them, torture them. Yeah, simple. Like, just tell them this is wrong, change it, or you fucked up. Yeah.
Thank you.